But that being said, we're going to get right into it. We're going to kind of whip through these with like maps and other things like that. I just want to talk about like, and then just kind of run through these predictions. So, starting off, I won't go through all the matches, but like some of the interesting ones. London fell down 0-2 against Washington and came back and pulled off the reverse sweep. That was an interesting game. Florida shocked Philadelphia Fusion and the world by defeating them 2-1. Guangzhou and Seoul got huge wins to 4-0s against Dallas and Chengdu. And then in a great matchup between two of the really solid expansion teams, Atlanta came up on top over Toronto. New York Excel edged LA Valiant 3-2 in a very nice match. Shanghai, they did it, boys. All the Pogs, they finally got their win. They beat Boston, took the first three maps on them, ended up winning 3-1 overall, and um, what can I say? It was a huge victory. I'm super happy for them. 42 matches, and they finally got that win. And look, going forward, they're going to be a pretty strong team. You can see the effect of having Gamsu in there. I have no idea why Boston let Gamsu go. He's such a good player. Um, and then in the final match, we had Houston taking their first win of the year. They got up 2-0 once again. They did not choke. They pulled it out. They played very well, very together. Looked way better at the Goats, and they were able to take down a good Hangzhou Spark team. Um, I went 2-2, or I guess I should say I went 4-4, 2-2 both days. So we're sitting at 12-12 on the season, boys. Yeah, there have been a lot of upsets, and I haven't been able to kind of spot them out beforehand. So we're gonna see if we can do that. Um, and without further ado, getting into the matches for today. LA Gladiators, Paris Eternal, two very solid teams. Paris is looking great in the meta. Gladiators have a bit of a better team overall, but their meta isn't. They're not quite as good at the meta as Paris is, so it kind of really evens out the playing field. I got Gladiators 3-1 in this matchup, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to five. Even if it goes to five, I'm pretty confident in Gladiators. I really like them on control maps, so um, it's in a very good competitive matchup. I still got the Gladiators over Paris. Going on to Philly versus Dallas, I really wanted to pick this one as an upset. Both teams are coming off disappointing losses, um, but I just don't see how Philly drops two matches in a row to a team that should be below them. Um, I mean, after that Florida disaster, they're not going to make those same kind of mistakes, and they're going to be really crisp. And maybe a 4-0. I think probably 3-1 is more realistic. Um, Moving on, we got Vancouver finally in action. They only played one match. They crushed Shanghai. Joe 1-1. They're looking pretty solid. I still like Vancouver in this matchup. I mean, they looked very good against Shanghai. That Shanghai was still kind of finding their footing, but I think nonetheless, Vancouver is supposed to be a good team, and I think they are going to live up or maybe even exceed that hype by a little bit. Guangzhou will take a map. They got some odd strategies, and they got some really good players that can just like pop off. So that will allow them a map, but Vancouver will take that series 3-1. Then we got Shendu Hunters and Florida Mayhem. I went back and forth in this one. Both these teams are 1-1. Chengdu kind of got rolled in their last matchup. Florida got rolled in their first matchup before bouncing back against Philly. Man, when I look at the map pool, I don't see like a huge advantage going to either side. This one is kind of a pick 'em to me. It's like which team is going to perform. I'm going to go Florida. I think Florida wins this. They really impressed me in their first matchup. They, in terms of, or their last matchup against Philly. Like I said, Philly, the first map, especially Philly, kind of just like messed around, and that's why they won. But Mayhem really did go toe to toe with them the last three maps, and I can really respect that. Florida kind of dominated them the last map, honestly. Um, and Rialto is going to be the game 4 again. So I think it's going to be close back and forth. Comes down to it 2-1 in terms of Florida being ahead, and then they're going to close it out on Rialto for a 3-1. Could also be a 3-2, but I like Florida in this one. And then talking about tomorrow, the Sunday matches, we got Hangzhou Spark taking on London Spitfire. So 2-1 Spark, 1-2 Spitfire. Um, I'm taking the Spark. I still don't trust London. They had to come back from down 0-2 to beat Washington, and I think the Spark are a lot better than Washington. Um, Again, Sparks coming off a loss, and I think that for London, now that they have a win, they're still under pressure to like win, of course, but it's not going to be they got that first win, so they're going to be a little bit more like lax, I think. London just has not impressed me at all this stage. I don't think they've impressed anybody, and I think that the Spark are going to bounce back from yesterday's defeat. I think maybe they weren't preparing for Houston as much, and they're preparing for London a lot. But nevertheless, I think they take it 3-1. Then we got New York Excel and Houston Outlaws. So 3-0 New York Excel, 1-2 Houston. On paper, I think a lot of people would say this one's a wash. I was actually really tempted to pick Houston here. I liked their new strategies and like their new combination of players that they used a lot. Um, Having Spree on that Diva, having Colmac kind of subbed out, so then you have Dante who can either be on the Sombra or the Zarya. You can hit the team with multiple different areas, because then if he goes to the Sombra, Spree can play a very good Zarya. But then if you want to play Goats, then Dante can go to Zarya. Cool. Spree can play the Diva. I thought Muma played better last match. I still don't trust him in terms of ultimate, blocking ultimates and getting good ultimates with Shatter. That's my main thing with him. His alt charging time is a little slow too, but I really like their supports. I think Ruckus had a bounce back performance against the Spark. He wasn't overextended and doing some of the weird wrong things that were really plaguing him in their first couple matches. So I think Houston's looking really good. New York Excel, it's not the most impressive 3-0. I mean, they did just beat the Valiant, which is a really good team, but they barely did. Their Goats is good. Nene Zarya is really, really good, but I'm not completely sold on them. So I think Houston keeps this one close. I think they go back and forth. I think Excel does take it in 5. I'm not going to say Houston wins this, but I think that they will keep it a very tight matchup. Then we got Toronto Defiant, LA Valiant. So Valiant did bring in Custa a little bit for a couple of maps, the control maps, but then they had Kuki in for the other ones. I don't know why. It's still not even close in my opinion. Like I said before, they said apparently they liked Kuki's all tracking ability a lot, but you were second in the league with Custa. You think his all tracking is bad? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm still saying put in Custa. Just put him in. They looked good when he was in. They went 1-1, but they looked good, and I think that they'll take down the Defiant. The Defiant look like a solid team, but I still see them as middle of the road. They took the first map against Atlanta, but then Atlanta kind of, as the series went on, it kind of got more and more lopsided. Um, and I think you really started to see the difference. I still just I don't know how people put Toronto in the top 10. I just don't see it. Um, Maybe they're a bit better than where I put them in the beginning of the year, like 17-ish. I could see them going to like 13, 14 range, but I don't see them being able to beat the Valiant here. The Valiant, they lost 2 very close matchups, so they really want that first win, and I think they will get it. I'll say another 3-1. I like 3-1s a lot this year. I don't see there being too many. There will be 4-0s. We saw a couple on Thursday, but I think they're going to be a lot less frequent than last year. And then the final matchup of the week. This should be a really good one. San Fran Shock, Vancouver Titans. So 2 teams that are looking very good right now. Vancouver will be 1-1 or 2-0. San Francisco is 2-1. Or no, sorry, San Francisco is 1-1. So, looking at the maps, this one's really tough. This is kind of a pickup for me. I'm gonna go Vancouver here. I think that if you had asked me before the season started, I would have said San Francisco, but Vancouver, they don't have a huge sample size. It's kind of tough picking them. After these couple days, we'll have three matches, so we'll have a much better sample size. Um, I don't think they have as much individual talent, but in goats that's not as important. I think they're a little bit better as a team than San Francisco. San Francisco makes more like switches. Might give Vancouver a slight edge, and Vancouver I also give them the edge in the main tank battle, which is so important in Overwatch League Season 2 in the GOATS meta. So I'm gonna say Vancouver wins it, maybe 3-2, maybe like 2-1. It should be very close. But yeah, I'm gonna give Vancouver the slight edge. I think Vancouver is probably going to be like number two or number one in terms of the standings at the end of these 2 days. So, yeah, that's what I think about the last 2 days of Overwatch League Stage 1, Week 2. Hope you guys have been enjoying the matches. I know that people don't like GOATs, but I still think that these matches have been very fun. You get to see a lot of mind games, you get to see a lot of strategy, people swapping off different comps, and I don't know. I appreciate goats more than the average person. Would I like to see the meta change by like next stage? Yes, I would. Um, but I think we've still been seeing some great Overwatch. I still love OWL. I hope you guys have been loving these matches so far. Good luck to your teams, unless they're playing mine. Have a great day. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.